What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Dynasty Mafia podcast. Happy Saturday for you all. November 6th. October came and gone. We are now into the fall times. Eric, speaking of falling, hopefully you aren't sitting at the bottom of the standings so far through 8 weeks. Welcome into week 9, guys. We're already talking about that. It's crazy. I don't know how we're here. But if you are watching us on YouTube or Twitter, you can tell it is just the two of us, Eric and I, tonight. We do not have any Keenan, unfortunately. But how you doing, Eric? Why don't you say hello to everybody?
Doing good. One leg of the tripod is down, but that's all right. We're still standing. I've actually, what you mentioned in the beginning, I have one league. I'm in the bottom, but it's a league I'm tanking in on top of losing Cam Akers and Michael Thomas. So, I mean, what can you do, And I have Deshaun Watson. So.
Yeah, that's definitely tough. I'm in a plentiful of leagues as we know, so I definitely have a few that I'm near the bottom, especially in some dynasties where I still keep telling myself I'm fighting. I for some reason in my head I told myself now that we have an extra game, I somehow think I can last until like week 10 if I only have like 3 wins. So I need to get used to this extra game and telling myself week 8, week 9 is crunch time. You need to start getting those wins. If you have 6 losses right now, you need to figure out next season. If you're in redraft and you have 6 losses, start maybe trading for some keeper players. But yeah, tonight we're going to discuss week 9. There's a lot going on. We have a lot to talk about. Was a crap load of injuries in week 8. It was really unfortunate, really sad. I was texting Eric and Keenan on Sunday that I think I cried at least twice with the amount of things going on with Calvin Ridley. And his unfortunate concerns, and hopefully he gets better. Then Miles Sanders got put in IR. I took a really big L on my favorites, on my favorite players here. But yeah, we're going to move on tonight without Keenan. We're going to go through all the matchups. We're going to talk about our starts in streams as well. So why don't we get into some of the news and notes, Eric? The biggest thing, Derrick Henry, big man, was on a massive pace. We just talked last week about the record-setting pace he was on, or 2 weeks ago, and if he had the ability to break that, and he really was having an amazing season, and it's just so sad that a foot takes down a man of that stature. So I know you've been touting him all season, talking about taking him at 2.
I'm very upset. I mean, hey, regardless of the injury, I would still take him at 2. I mean, what he was doing is just absolutely crazy. I don't know. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I have a few Derrick Henry shares, but I don't know. It has nothing to do with him being broken down either. I don't like that people say that. I mean, any running back can get injured. I mean, any player can get injured at any time, but I mean, the injury wasn't because he's broken down or anything. I mean, what he was doing clearly showed he has plenty of juice in the tank left. And I think he's going to come back from this, and he's going to have a great year next year again too. But providing he stays healthy.
Well, that's a big thing. And you just said you think he's not broken down. Well, he'll be 28 next year. People have been talking, almost waiting, I think, for the train of Derrick Henry to break. But we saw CMC doing it now for his second year. Do you think that CMC getting injured now for 2 straight seasons is really going to scare Henry even more, maybe even out of the first round?
Oh, he's definitely not going to be in the first round. I mean, I guess. Well,
he might be back to the playoffs. I think that's the big thing. We have to remember that.
Playoffs. So I mean, once people see what he does in playoffs, if he comes back and he's playing playoffs and looks like his normal self, then no, I don't see him falling out of the first round. But if he struggles at all, then yeah, definitely.
Are you buying him in any dynasty leagues right now? Have you gone out and thought about paying any?
I haven't sold him in any. Well, actually, that's false. I traded Derrick Henry. What did I trade? I traded Derrick Henry actually in 2 future firsts, a 2023 first, a 2024 first. Derrick Henry for CMC and Chuba Hubbard. So, and that's a team though.
We were just talking about them both.
I'm top 3. I'm a very, very strong contender. So I mean, I had to make a move, and CMC's coming off IR this week, so
Well, and that's an immediate move, like you just said. So I mean, that's going to get you right in where Henry's out for at least 7 weeks. But so Henry, 23 and 24 first for CMC and Hubbard. I think I remember. Oh, I forgot that you even did that. Now that you mention it, that was a good trade. Was that with Keenan?
Scoots.
Who'd you do that with? Ah, okay. There you go. All right. So quick, two quick things. Sorry, McNichols or AP. Are you worried about either of them? Are you excited for either of them? AP is going to be the starter, obviously, as it seems. But do you have any value in redraft for either of them?
Yeah, I think AP is going to put up consistent low-end RB2 numbers. Everyone's really excited about McNichols, and I get it, but they're going to give AP a lot of carries. He's not going to do a ton with the carries, but they're going to give him a lot of carries. I mean, if he gets some big holes like Derrick Henry got, he might be able to break away for a few too, depending on what kind of speed he has left. But I mean, I didn't run to grab either one of them off the waivers this week. No.
What about AJ Brown? Did this show up as an increase? I mean, he's questionable for this week. I know he didn't practice yesterday, Friday, but I fully expect AJ Brown he's already seen near 10 targets a game, so I fully expect that to continue, if not exceed the frequency of him getting the double-digit targets. What about Julio, though? AJ, your thoughts?
I think it's good for both of them. I mean, everyone's worried about Ryan Tannehill saying that he's going to be worse because teams don't have to stack the box, but I mean, it might be even better for him because he's going to be throwing the ball a lot more to both of those guys. And yeah, I think it's going to be good for all three of them. But in the end, no matter how good that passing attack is, I'm really not excited about either two of these guys. Like I said, if you need a running back, AP is the guy I would go for because I think he's going to be the most consistent. But again, more of a low-end RB2, high-end RB3.
AP or James Conner rest of season? Kind of getting a lot of touchdowns, a lot of red zone carries, which is what you're going to hope for with AP.
Yeah. I mean, just be right this second, I'd probably go with James Conner just because the unknown of McNichols. But if McNichols sucks and he isn't anything good, then I'm going to be wishing I went AP.
Yeah, I think McNichols will continue his role, the passing down back for them. But we're seeing that Henry's getting 20 to 25 plus, sometimes 30 carries. AP can't get that. So they need to either throw the ball 15 or 20 times more a game, or McNichols will have to see some more carries. One more. How about oh, man. Yeah, this is kind of tough now. What about Mark Ingram or AP the rest of the season? Mark Ingram getting rejoined.
I go AP there.
Okay. All right, let's move on from those guys. James Robinson's day-to-day. They said he avoided a serious injury. Are you starting him against Buffalo? One of the top run defenses in the league. Number 1 overall right now.
Hey, go Bills. I mean, you might have to. If you have him, I mean, depends. It really depends who you're sitting. I mean, if you don't have another top 20 guy, you have to play him. But if you're able to sit him and you have a better flex option and you can slot 2 better running backs in, and you can find someone to throw in your flex, I would definitely do what I can to sit him this week, especially because they're going to be playing from behind. I mean, providing some crazy thing happens tomorrow, they're going to be throwing a lot. So
yeah, I'm forced to play him in a league too. I couldn't get anybody in the waiver.
He might get some Tony catches, Pollard. Though. He's probably going to get some catches.
He may, but they don't allow any big plays, so it's tough to see them moving the ball down the field. So I'm afraid he might have a single-digit game. Very touchdown dependent, but I would take Devin Singletary. I would take Tony Pollard. I would take Khalil Herbert going up against Pittsburgh over him. Jameis Winston tore his ACL. That's another player that I was very upset about on Sunday. I was looking forward, I'm sure a lot of people were, to him having a great season, and they were winning. So You got Trevor Siemian, you got Taysom Hill coming in, you got Michael Thomas not coming in anymore. So it seems like Alvin Kamara continues to just get the dominance and heavy workload even when Ingram came back. But Eric, what are you doing with anybody in New Orleans right now? Are you interested in anybody besides Kamara?
Not. No, not
Callaway's
really.
not doing much.
I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm honestly worried about Kamara too. Is Hill going to be starting? Right, I'm guessing.
It sounds like Simeon.
Really, that's actually surprising.
I'll double check it.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right. But yeah, no, I'm really not excited about anybody here, and it's a downgrade for Kamara too as well for me.
I was actually starting to do some research last week on Kamara, and I was going to write an article about how we should get rid of him and sell him, and his workload can't be consistent. And I stopped. I stopped looking at. I started looking at the stats, and I tried to see any of the negatives to him, and I couldn't. And then the Michael Thomas news came out, and then the Jameis Winston news came out. So I just am going to continue to say he is going to continue to get the volume, and he's a touchdown machine as he's always been. He's on pace for double-digit touchdowns again. It's just the catches. I understand that the catches are not what we were expecting. Yeah. I agree with you. That's what actually I was looking into was his targets and receptions. This is the second lowest of his career through 7 games.
And I'm not worried about the workload either, but it's just
he's getting a lot of rushes.
He's literally the only person that defenses are going to have to focus on.
Happened last year, though.
It
would happen last year with Taysom Hill, who handed the ball off and ran himself.
They still had a much better, regardless of where Breeze was at in his career, he is much better than Trevor Siemian. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be tough.
Siemian moved the ball. I'm excited that they picked Siemian over Hill. I think it's saying a lot, even though Hill had the concussion, but they did say he cleared it. Maybe he isn't fully ready. But I don't know. I'm excited to see what Kamara can continue to do, and he's going to be on a career pace for rushes as well. So he's making up for it then from the catch game. We'll see what Siemian can do. Calvin Ridley and Sanders, I'd mentioned they're out. T.Y. Hilton's out. That actually already happened. Sorry, he was out with a concussion. Debo is probable with the calf, but they say George Kittle's coming back. Devontae Parker's going on IR. So Jalen Waddle's a big buy for me. He's already getting a lot of catches and targets, but that's going to continue. I know not much is downfield, but hopefully Will Fuller will get healthy and Tua is getting more acclimated into the offense. Noah Fant's out with COVID. Sam Darnold's a game-time decision. They said he cleared concussion protocol, but now they're bringing up the shoulder injury. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to be surprised if they sit him. Playing against the Patriots, he saw ghosts last year against the Patriots. So we know Belichick has his number. CMC is supposed to be coming back. They just activated him off IR, a couple hours ago. So, Eric, what are you thinking for the game? What do you think about DJ Moore? What do you think about CMC? Are you confident in starting CMC as a surefire top 3 RB?
Maybe not. Is he 100% playing this week?
Yeah, they activated him. Well, tomorrow in pregame. Sorry, so the pregame they're going to go through it, but they activated him. They're expecting him to play minor, barring any setbacks. So we should know by 11:30.
I mean, if CMC is healthy and they say they are playing him, it'd be very, very hard for me to not play him.
No, they're definitely playing, but do you start him with the confidence that he's
No, I don't expect a full workload. I don't know. I fully expect Hubbard to still get a decent amount of carries and just work in general.
Okay, so are you still starting Hubbard then if you have him and you don't have CMC? You still maybe playing him in a flex?
More of a low end flex play.
Hubbard or Chase Claypool? Monday night against Chicago.
Claypool.
Hubbard or Zach Moss?
Moss. And we'll talk about Moss later.
What about Hubbard and Mike Davis?
I mean, you're really hoping both get a touchdown. Probably maybe Davis. Davis was very consistent in the beginning. I mean, he had 2 bad games, but
Yeah,
I mean,
Patterson started seeing a lot more of the carries and a lot more of the workload. So I think I need to stop. Well, first, let me ask you: is he a sell, Cordell Patterson? Are you getting rid of him right now? If you have him, are you worried
if
about?
you can actually get something, I would. I mean, what? What are you gonna really get? I mean, I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, it's not that.
I feel
Well,
like
you're getting a
nobody
top
wants to
five.
trade for him.
That's true. He's a weapon though. He's getting a lot of catches. He's getting used in the passing game as a wide receiver. He's getting used obviously as a running back. He's scoring for them. They don't have Calvin Ridley for at least 3 weeks. And without Derrick Henry now, he's technically running back 7. So he's being consistent. Trust me. This what you're saying, I think, is what a lot of people who don't own Cordell Patterson are saying is, wow, it's really tough to have him. But if you did draft him, what a diamond in the rough you feel like you found. But what about Cordell Patterson or Josh Jacobs?
I mean, I don't know. Jacobs is tough. Probably go Jacobs, but that's a good one because if you are trading Patterson away, I mean, make sure you get at least another top 15 back. Like I wouldn't. Obviously, I've said in the past, like I don't trade any running backs for anything other than another running back. I mean, obviously, unless I have 5 or 6 running backs and I'm good. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about a couple guys behind him, if I can flip him for like Joe Mixon, I would do that in a heartbeat. Um, who else is behind him? I'm trying to think.
Well, see, he's got over 100 yards in 3 of his last 5 games. Well, 3 of his last 4 games, and he's at least 14 points in every game besides week 1 when they really were trying to figure out how to use him. So he's really – I love the Falcons. I've been believing the Falcons all season, so I need to stop, I think, getting rid of the Patterson hate and start thinking about maybe buying
Maybe
him.
I'm the one
Deontay Johnson?
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson or Cordell Patterson?
That one's tough, I guess.
Yeah. 16, 23, 34, 18 the last 2 games. Like, yeah, he's putting them up. So keep an eye out for Cordell Patterson. Let's move on, though. Let's move on. We are 20 minutes in, got through the news and notes. We're going to talk about a bunch of the matchups here. Hopefully going to keep this into like a 50 to 55-minute show for you guys, so it isn't too crazy. But make sure you are following us on Twitter at DynastyMafia_FF. Make sure you're following me at Antonio DenissiFF and Eric Biggie_FF. And make sure you are checking us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Dynasty Mafia Podcast, as well as our website, dynastymafiapodcast.network. Yeah, we got a lot going on, right, Eric? We got a lot going on. We got, like I said, week 9. Somehow we're already in here. I know you said with one of your redraft leagues, was it one of your redrafts or Dynasty? You said you were in the bottom.
Dynasty.
Actually, no, one of the redrafts. Yeah, I know one of your redrafts you're low, but you got a lot of points. How do you feel about? I want to talk about this.
That one I was first in points, or I was second in points, but I was in last place. But me in first place, which Keenan was first place, of course. Here it is. We're both beating everybody by over 100 points. I'm in 4th place now, though. 2 weeks ago, I was
so close.
Last. Yeah.
A lot of my leagues, I've noticed there's not much disparity from the top and bottom. Like a lot of my leagues have between those 3 to 6 wins. I don't really have anybody that's winless besides our one home league. That's the only player. But I'm in 9 leagues, and I feel like it's been a lot more competitive. Maybe I'm crazy, but the thing I wanted to ask you was, if you got to look at your team with the position you're in, right? Because of how close maybe a lot of leagues have been, or with how many points you have. If you're in 2nd place right now and you're 8th in points, you need to figure that out. You need to work on that. You need to make some changes. If you're not battling injuries, if you're not battling your own demises where you're not starting the right players each week, you have to get some more firepower. And, that goes inverse as well. If, like we were just saying with Eric, if you're near the bottom, if you're 7th, 8th, 9th place, and you're near the top 3, top 4 in scoring, be confident. You have players. It's just not all coming together. So I think that you need to be smart. And if you need, maybe you can double up, do a 2-for-1 deal. I'm working on a deal right now to possibly send Michael Pittman and Mike Williams for DK Metcalf. I mean, that's a, as well as Mike Williams have been playing, and we just saw Pittman doing well. You want to stack up to get the elite because neither of those two are probably going to finish in the top 5. DK has that chance to finish in the top 5. You got Russell Wilson coming back, but just an example, maybe a little bit of an overpay, but you want to get rid of some depth sometimes because, and maybe correct me if you have a different opinion, Eric, but I don't care about too much about depth when I'm looking for a playoff run. You know what I mean? Like there's people who say you want to have depth during the season, of course, maybe even deeper, but after I'm past like week 8 or 9, I am trying to trade players, especially for the trade deadline, to make my starting lineup stronger.
Yeah, especially in redraft league. I mean, maybe not in a dynasty league, but in redraft league, you want the number 1 player at each position. So, I mean, I would make that trade all day for DK Metcalf. I mean, like I said, with Russell Wilson coming back, in maybe 2 weeks? Even now without him, Geno Smith is going to DK over the other guys. So, yeah, I like that one.
All right. Let's get into the matchups then. We're going to start Buffalo at Jacksonville. So we talked a little bit about James Robinson, how we're going to do if we're going to play him. What about Stephon Diggs, though? Is he ready to break out? This is one of the worst passing defenses in the league. They're getting rocked almost every single game, losing by double-digit points. The Bills, I have a feeling they're going to come out and just blow the top off here, at least my hope. But Stephon Diggs only has 1 game over 90 yards. There were some people that were taking him wide receiver 1. Are you concerned about Stephon Diggs? I believe he's only got 3 touchdowns. Like, what's going on here? Josh Allen's still having a great season.
No, I'm not worried. I mean, they added Emmanuel Sanders. Still got Beasley and Davis, and then obviously the emergence of Knox, which I think that's been a big part of it too. And defense is kind of focusing on Diggs, knowing what he did last year. But yeah, I think this is a great game for him to turn it around and get the Jets going. So yeah, I mean, look for him to have a great back half of the year. Him and Allen got a great connection, and that's never going to go away. So it's gotta turn around at some point. And he's still doing good. I mean, he's putting up consistent numbers, just not those.
Yeah, nothing that you could say
game-winning type of.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably 1 week. He's got 2 games in a row with a touchdown, so hopefully that is positive moving forward. Stephon Diggs or Justin Jefferson rest of the season?
That's tough. Honestly, I'd probably go Diggs.
What about Diggs or Alvin Kamara?
I'd have to go Kamara there.
Even without the catches, huh? Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Next game. Let's move on to Cleveland and Cincinnati. The battle for Ohio. We got Burrow versus Baker. Nick Chubb's coming back. What do you? Again, Chubb's coming back, so you're going to start him, no problem. Dearness Johnson's taking a back seat like he did last week. Even though he got a touchdown, I'm not too concerned about that. Chubb's going to be coming back. They probably were just getting him. Well, they were getting him back into the system, but without Kareem Hunt, I'm expecting Nick Chubb to do well, even though they probably will be trailing. Cincinnati does give up a good amount of receptions to running backs, but that's not Chubb's wheelhouse, so Dearness could get there. But how do you see this game playing out, Eric?
I mean, obviously, the Browns are going to ride everything they can on Nick Chubb. They're going to try and keep the ball out of Burrow's hands. Obviously, we've seen, in past this entire season, the Bengals can put up plenty of points. But yeah, the wide receiver that I'm looking at though, and very interested in this week is Donovan Peoples-Jones with the Browns. I like him a lot. He's not a high draft pick coming out last year. He's not, any kind of fancy name, but he's good. He's got a lot of talent, especially with OBJ completely out of the picture now. They can just focus on the future and focus on what they want to do with that offense. I think he could maybe go out there and have a decent week. But yeah, this is going to be, Nick Chubb's offense, and that's it.
What do you think about Tyler Boyd? If he doesn't, if he gets single digits for this game, that'll be 4 out of 5 where he does have single digits, and then they're going to go into a bye week. Is he someone you're considering dropping, or is he still someone you're keeping on your bench?
I mean, if you have like somebody on a bye week and you need to fill a position, I'm okay dropping him. But at the same time, looking at what's really on the waiver wire, I'm not excited about it because I still think he's a better flex option than what you are going to find on the waiver wire.
Yeah, he's certainly been touchdown dependent. That's what's been saving his weeks. He's got 2 touchdowns so far, but like I said, he's only got a couple games where he's gotten the double-digit points, and they have a really tough schedule, the Bengals do, to end their last 7 games after their bye week. So hopefully they do get refreshed, but they're playing against the bottom 9. 6 of the last 7 games is the bottom 9 in passing defenses. So Jamar Chase, who currently leads the league in yards per reception with 20.7, which, by the way, is higher than what A.J. Brown had his rookie year. He's obviously getting touchdowns like crazy. Is Jamar Chase matchup proof? We saw the only 30 yards last week, but he got a touchdown.
Yeah. I'm not any matchup at all. He's going in your lineup. I didn't think it was going to happen, but he is wide receiver 3 right now. I don't care who he's playing. He's in my lineup.
Yeah,
what he's doing is fantastic. I mean, it's just what Justin Jefferson did last year. Exactly what he did. In terms of
even better
points. Yeah, even better.
But yeah, the Cleveland goes up to 10th most yards and the 6th most passing touchdowns for fantasy. So I'm excited for Jamar Chase, and I'm excited for Cincinnati to take that one. Denver and Dallas, we got a comeback game. Judy's coming back off IR. Dak's coming back from his calf injury. And it sounds like we might have a shootout, do you think? Do you think Teddy Bridgewater can keep up with Dallas, or do you think they're just going to roll away with it? 10.5-point favorites, Vegas says.
I think they'll keep it close just because Dallas is always in close games because they suck. Their defense, I know. But it's Dallas. Everyone makes fun of Dallas. I think Dallas is gonna leave this game. Their offense is just too good to lose to them, but they'll keep it close. I think 10.5 that's a bit much. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that Dallas.
Although I did forget they traded
Kirk Cousins. Yeah, that's the thing. They traded away Von Miller. I don't know why I said Kirk Cousins, but they traded away Von Miller, and that's what I think is going to be the big difference, especially for Zeke. That's the thing, though, is I wonder though if they're going to attack, the run game and just take Zeke and Pollard and give him 30 or 35 carries, and then you only see a 25 attempt game from Dak. Because that's what you're not really getting. You're not getting a lot of games this season where it's either under 250 yards or over 400 yards. But we've been seeing Zeke and Pollard come out more, and yeah, I wonder if that's going to be the game plan. But between CD and Amari, who would you feel better starting?
Is CD playing for sure? I thought he was questionable.
He is question. I mean, I'm anticipating he's going to play. I think he's excited for Dak to come back, but
I mean,
I know it's his ankle, but we'll see.
If he's playing, I'm playing CD, but I mean, if it's like a game time decision or something like that, then I'd be more comfortable with Amari.
So let's say that CD doesn't play. Would you rather have Amari or Keenan Allen?
Keenan Allen.
Really. Amari or Mike Evans?
Mike Evans.
What about DeAndre Hopkins, who's questionable, or Amari?
I guess the same with CD. I mean, if Hopkins is playing, but if he's like a game time decision again, I guess obviously you're always more comfortable with the healthy player.
Yeah, that was foolish.
But you can't not play DeAndre Hopkins. if he's in.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next game. Houston and Miami. We're just going to run through this one. The only thing I really want to talk about is Myles Gaskin. We know how Houston's been doing this season. Miami, they need this game to get right. Tua's coming off 4 touchdowns. He's looking a lot better, but they really need to come out and just dominate. Well, coming off 2 weeks ago, sorry, but they just played Buffalo last week. Weren't able to get much going after the first half. But Houston gives up the 3rd most rushing touchdowns, and they give up the most rushing yards. So Myles Gaskin is only getting touchdowns through the air. Doesn't have a rushing touchdown yet. A lot of people are throwing shade on him, but he's been coming around the last few weeks. They've been using him a lot in the passing game. They've been using him a bit in the running game, but he's been helping out, especially now with Devontae Parker leaving. Do you think Myles Gaskin can be a strong RB2, or are you not thinking about Myles Gaskin at all? At least 16 touches in the last 2 games.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't sell him. Just to say that I have not been able to sell Myles Gaskin for a few weeks.
Even actively trying, or
even after his 10 catch, 2 touchdowns, it's nobody believed it, but since then he's been getting the touches.
I probably wouldn't sell him for what you're going to get. I mean, especially like I said, a running back that's going to put up. I mean, even RB2 numbers. That's very valuable in terms of fantasy. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely comfortable, especially going up against Houston. I also think, though, on the Houston's end, I think Tyrod might be a pretty good stream if you need a quarterback this week. But overall,
he's coming back.
Overall,
I was surprised. Were you surprised that they just immediately said Tyrod's playing and no Davis Mills?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe they don't think Mills is ready, which makes sense, or just didn't like what they saw, which also makes sense. So
yeah, man, I know the team's not doing too hot. I was just surprised how easily they went back to Tyrod, but hopefully that's good for Brandon Cooks. He has not been having a good season after starting off pretty hot. But yeah, Myles Gaskin. I want to talk about schedules next week a little more, but he's got a good schedule. Miami does. They got Houston, Baltimore, and the Jets the next 3 games. So all good running defense, or all good for fantasy purposes against running backs. Carolina's tough, but again, he helps in the passing yards. So that'll be helpful. Then they got the Giants and then a bye week and on the Jets. So you got a lot of good from Myles Gaskin. So he's a big buy for me right now. So I know I said I was trying to sell him, but I think they're going to try and get him a lot more acclimated in the offense. And like I said, Parker's gone. Waddle's used a lot in the short game. So maybe they'll try to stretch the field with him and get Gaskin more involved. Atlanta at New Orleans. Talked about Calvin Ridley not being there. Where do you have Pitts right now as tight end rankings? Where is he for you?
I mean, now that Kittle's coming back, he's probably 4. He might be 5 still, but maybe 4.
Yeah, I still think, especially he's 2 for me. I still can't get him past Kelsey, I know, just yet. But yeah, what we've seen that he can do is amazing. I'm trying to trade for him because why not? And I just expect that, his bye week's gone already. I love trading for players that have no bye weeks. Just, gets me excited. I don't know why. You feel like you get that extra game, which you do. But, yeah, I'm definitely getting Kyle Pitts. But we talked about New Orleans earlier, switching their players. We talked a lot about Kamara. Do you think Kamara is going to be able to do well against this divisional matchup? Do you think Pitts will do well? Who are you worried about for either team?
I mean,
we talked about Patterson.
I mean, the Falcons aren't really a scary team to go up against. So, I mean, really, the Saints, I guess, maybe Callaway or who else was it over there?
Traquan Smith,
maybe one of them, get a long touchdown or make a big play. But I think Kamara will be fine in this game. I think Pitts will be fine too. And like you said, maybe they'll lean on their run game a little bit more. Maybe that's good for both Patterson and Mike Davis since they don't have Ridley. But, we'll see how that goes. But I am, obviously don't play Matt Ryan. I'm not really excited about him. Like I said, all he does is the only person he has to throw to is Pitts or Patterson. So maybe Russell Gage comes back finally and does something. But or who else is it? Zacharias.
Oh yeah, Olamide. Yeah, I don't know. Russell Gage really disappointed me with that goose egg. Man, it was frustrating. Okay, so Minnesota and Baltimore. I'm excited to see what Baltimore is going to do coming back off the bye. You have Minnesota coming in, Justin Jefferson coming off a poor week. Thielen's been hot with touchdowns. Kirk Cousins been on fire. What are you feeling with this Baltimore offense? Do you think Rashad Bateman? Let me ask you first. Out of the wide receivers, Bateman and Marquise Brown, who are you more excited for?
Gonna be Hollywood. He's a top 10 wide receiver right now, which nobody saw coming. I love Hollywood. I have since he came into the league. Obviously with Bateman coming there, and these Twitter rumors with people talking about Lamar and trying to talk up OBJ going there. It's worrisome just because the volume there and that passing attack isn't really going to go up at all. But out of all of them, I'm still sticking with Hollywood.
Yeah, I agree with you there. He's been fantastic. We both wanted that breakout last year, didn't get it, so he has been doing it this year. And you're right, I'm not worried about Bateman. Sammy Watkins has taken a step back. I know he's been injured too, but with Bateman coming in, Bateman may not be showing a lot on the stat sheet, but I think I've been impressed by him personally. Just from the 2 games that I've seen. I think he's doing everything right, and they're getting him acclimated into the offense as they should. So I just think that Brown and Lamar are still taking those chances downfield. And now you have Bateman who could stretch the field even more. And the Chargers give up the Vikings give up the sixth most fantasy points per game against wide receivers. So I think Brown has a good chance to score. He's actually one of my impresses this week. Oh, okay. So, actually, who's going to win the game?
Who are we talking about? Baltimore against
Vikings. Kirk Cousins has been on fire.
Yeah, I think Baltimore takes this because they've been playing pretty good too. But I think it's going to be a close one, probably a shootout here. To be honest, this could be a. What's the over under on this one? I wonder.
I think it might be around 47 or 48, if not 50.
Yeah,
it definitely could get up there. The Vikings haven't been allowing much points. They haven't allowed more than 20 points in 4 of the last 5 games. But they played Cleveland, Detroit, Carolina. They did just play Dallas, where they had a formidable defense. But I agree, Baltimore coming off the bye. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they can do. It's all Adam Thielen. I'm going to say it every week. I don't care that he keeps getting touchdowns. It's all the damn dude does is get touchdowns. He doesn't get yards for you. It's too dependent. Quit it. All right. Enough of that rant. Vegas and the Giants. So I didn't really want to talk too much about the Henry Ruggs situation, but what I do want to discuss about that is the impact, obviously, for fantasy. Darren Waller's coming back. Brian Edwards needs to step up. What are you hoping to see out of Brian Edwards coming through? And do you think this means Waller is now tight end 3? Like when you said, Pitts is 4, who was ahead of him? Was it Kittle and Kelsey and Andrews?
Kelsey, Kittle, Andrews, Waller. Hawkinson's even still in the mix for me. Then Pitts. So it's a good group of our tight ends here. We got the tight ends are really stepping up this year. But yeah, Edwards, he had a lot of hype coming in last year. He didn't do it last year, and everyone thinks that it's never going to come to fruition. But like we've said in the past, wide receivers need 2-3 years to develop, especially somebody like him who didn't have that high pedigree. And it didn't necessarily get the chance right off the bat, but now he's going to get that chance. It's definitely, with Ruggs not being there anymore, it's going to be a boost for Waller, of course. But they're going to need Edwards to do something here. So, he's going to get his chance, and we're going to see.
Yeah, I mentioned Jamar Chase leading the league in yards per reception. Brian Edwards is not too far behind. Averaging just shy of 18 yards. So that's a lot. He does help stretch the field. Ruggs was there to do that as well. But Brian Edwards can actually be a possession wide receiver too. I saw it last year. bought him a lot in Dynasty in the offseason. I thought Waller would take a step back, which we haven't seen, so good for him. But, Bryan Edwards has at least 4 targets in every game but one, and that's got to go up. Last game he did get the touchdown before the bye, and then he had 60 yards the game before that, so 67, sorry. So hopefully we could see him step up more. He's going to be my stream of the week. We'll talk about him a little later. But, I agree with you on that front. The Giants, Barkley's going to be out. He's got COVID. He just keeps frustrating the hell out of me this season, as well as any other owners with the injuries and COVID coming through. So, Kadarius Toney's coming back. Devontae Booker's been performing well. Do you plan to start any of them? Galladay, I believe Galladay is still questionable, right?
Yeah. Actually, I'm kind of hoping Galladay plays because there's.
He's expected to play.
Yeah, yeah, he is. Yeah, so there's might be a league where I have to throw him where we have a couple flexes. So, but yeah, I'm not really. You're playing Josh Jacobs. I would say Waller, but yeah, I don't know. On the Giants side, is Tony's good, right? Did he get hurt?
Yeah, he's gonna be playing. Yeah, he'll be playing though.
Okay.
Jacobs has touchdown in 3 straight games.
Yeah.
Again, coming off the bye, the Giants don't do too well against the run, so I'm wondering if you're going to see Josh Jacobs. Or sorry, they do well against the run, so I'm wondering if you're going to see Josh Jacobs getting utilized a lot. Like we said, they got to figure something out. I know Ruggs didn't.
I would say
get a lot of
I'm sorry. I was going to say though about Galladay, like he's somebody that I'm going to try and get in leagues just because he's so cheap right now. And if he finally stays healthy, I'm telling you, it's got to turn around. I mean, they paid him too much money to just not use him. And how long is Shepard out for? How bad was his injury?
He'll be out a little while.
He's gone. I mean, long term, it's going to be Tony and Galladay. So I really do think it's going to turn around for him. I think Galladay, if you're a contender, I think Galladay is a great target right now to go after, especially for the next couple years as well. And right now, you can probably get Galladay for maybe a second and third or second, and to me, for what his potential is and what he can potentially do, if maybe Daniel Jones finally turns it around or maybe they get somebody else. Yeah, I don't know. It's very little risk with a potentially high reward.
I have to fade him. I can't believe in Daniel Jones anymore right now. And I think that once you see Galladay come back, as much as I agree, like a second's not too bad to just, throw at the wall, but you got Tony starting to emerge. Shepard's still there. Darius Slayton, they know that they're not going to use him to supplant anybody, but he still is there. They didn't get rid of Evan Ingram. I don't know. I need to see Daniel Jones need to convince me before I could start buying anyone but Barkley. I do love Tony, though. I'm not going to lie, but we have seen a connection. Okay. So New England at Carolina. Mentioned earlier, Darnold might not be playing. So if that's the case, P.J. Walker, I know we hadn't mentioned it, but P.J. Walker will be coming in. Not good news for DJ Moore. I personally am fading DJ Moore, one of my stresses this week. I think he's not going to have a very good game at all with Darnold. Well, originally this was even with Darnold. He's not performing well. He is. Darnold's not. So he's not getting much touchdown still. He does have Forbes on pace for a career high, but the yards haven't been coming too much, and they're horrible targets too. Like that's the thing is when Darnold's throwing the ball, he can't even catch it if it's not catchable. And P.J. Walker coming in, maybe that'll help. He'll probably lean on DJ Moore, but I think that that's who Bill Belichick's going to focus all of their efforts on is DJ Moore.
Yeah, providing CMC isn't playing a full game, then yeah, that would make sense.
Stephon Gilmore's got a little revenge game,
Walker
so
coming in and yeah, I like I said, I still have hope for Sam Darnold. I was talking him up a lot this offseason, but he had a really good first half or first couple games, 3-4 games, but yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Maybe it's time. People forget that Brady needed time to acclimate to the Bucs offense. I know Arians has a very crazy offense, but maybe that's just what Joe Brady and the Panthers have. It's an offense that he needs to adjust to. They all need to get on the same page, and maybe that second half of the year they can make it click. He hasn't had CMC most of the games. I think that's massive. Like, that's something nobody is talking about, is that he hasn't had the best player on their team. I get it, DJ Moore is great, and that he's not really throwing the best of balls, but he doesn't really have any help in the backfield. Hubbard's been good, but he's been kind of slacking lately. They've been starting to split carries with him. They had a three-way or starting to split carries with him, but not three-way, sorry. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping Hubbard can continue if something was to happen to CMC. But, all right, we will Damian Harris, one more person I want to talk about, him and Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers probably going to see Gilmore. I would probably sit Jacoby Myers. Still doesn't have any touchdowns, which is sad. But Damian Harris is still killing it. He's actually going to be my start of the week. He's going to be one of my impresses as well. I'm really excited for what he can do. I know that Carolina is actually good against the run, but Damian Harris has, like I say, he's been killing it. He's second in the league in 100-yard games. Technically, he has an opportunity to get first now because Derrick Henry was leading that. But I'm also excited for what he can do on the ground because the game plan is most likely, especially PJ Walker, they're going to be leading the game. They're going to be trying to score early. Mac Jones will be leading the ball down the field. And I think they're going to lean on Damian Harris. He's been getting 20-plus touches in 3 of his last 4 games. They're using him in the red zone. He's 6th in red zone usage for running backs in the league. So anytime that they do drive down the field, they like to run the ball. And they're going to want to control the clock. It's probably not going to be a high-scoring game. I think the Vegas total is like 46. So I'm taking the under for that. But I think the Patriots might handle the Panthers really well. And this was even before P.J. Walker, so that continues. All right, the Chargers and Philadelphia. This is going to be a good game, man. This is going to be a good game. At least I hope so. Jalen Hurts, even though the Eagles aren't performing well, he's still killing it for fantasy. The Eagles give up the 3rd most fantasy points to the running back. So I think that this bodes really well for Austin Eckler. Justin Herbert needs a good bounce-back game. He hasn't been performing well lately. What do you think of the Chargers and how they're going to do, especially Mike Williams and Keenan Allen? Philly's been good against wide receivers.
Yeah, they've been good, but, I mean, I don't know what Justin Herbert's been doing, with both Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. I don't think they're going to slow him down at all. I think they're both going to, like, Keenan Allen, I was shocked that he was wide receiver 30 a couple weeks ago. But like I said, the back half of the year, I think he's going to turn that around and he's just going to kill it. Yeah, I'm not worried about either of them at all in this game. Is Austin Eckler? Where's he at right now? I was just looking at the list of all the rankings, the leaders of this year.
Oh, he's second.
He's second. Okay,
yeah. He's right behind Derrick Henry.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like I said, the Eagles give up a lot of receptions, a lot of yards to the running back position. I think this is a big Austin Eckler game. I'm personally, stressing about Mike Williams. I don't think he's going to have a great game. He hasn't had a good couple weeks. Keenan Allen hopefully does bounce back, but I think Philly will put up a fight in this one. They've been using a 3-headed monster at the running back position, so I wonder if Gainwell and Scott are going to keep it up with Jordan Howard. But of those 3, if you have Gainwell or Scott, are you playing either of them?
Probably Boston Scott if I was. Although he was my stream of the week last week, so I don't know if he's going to hit 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns. That was nice.
Yeah.
Well, they ran. I mean, you gotta write that last week off for Philly because they ran the ball like crazy. So they weren't able to really pass the ball. So, and you got a 3-headed monster, not monster. They got the 3-headed tandem of Jordan Howard, Boston Scott, and Gainwell. Unfortunately, they couldn't use Miles Sanders at all for some reason when he was around. But I digress. So yeah, I think you got to start. You got to sit Devonta Smith as well. I'm not too excited for him. The Chargers have been doing well against the wide receiver position. Devonta Smith has not had a 100-yard game or touchdown since his first week. They need to get on the same page. They need to click. Hopefully it's going to be happening, but I just don't think it'll be this week. Do you have any? Oh, Dallas Goedert. I love him this week. Love Dallas Goedert. The Chargers give up a lot of points to the tight end position. We see him now without Zach Ertz, had respectable 70-plus yards last week. Dallas Goedert's top 5 tight end this week for me. Anything you got left to add for the Chargers, Philly?
Nope, should be good.
What about Mike Williams or Christian Kirk, especially if DeAndre Hopkins sits?
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams or Chris Godwin?
Godwin.
DK Metcalf or Mike Williams?
DK Metcalf.
Haha, joke's on you. He's on a bye week.
Oh, fuck, I'm done.
All right, Green Bay and the Chiefs. I walked you into that one. Sorry. So we know the big thing. We didn't talk about it earlier, but Aaron Rodgers has COVID. What's going on with that, man? We've heard a couple things that Aaron Rodgers has brought up this week. Certainly was in a lot of negative attention in the media. People thought he was vaccinated. Apparently he was immunized in his terms. So he's not going to play, though. But he can't come back to the facility till next Saturday. They said, though, he can't be tested, with the protocols of the NFLPA and the way they have all this set up. He can't be tested now for 90 days. So he cannot test positive for COVID again to sit out, except 90 days from now is 10 days before the Super Bowl. So hopefully nothing happens there. But for fantasy purposes, we should be all right with Rodgers after this week, as long as symptoms don't have him missing next Sunday too. So with that being said, though, I've seen a lot of people. So the Packers were like, I think, plus 7.5. A lot of people were liking the Packers, and I don't understand it. Like I get that Jordan Love was a first-round pick. We haven't seen much from him, but you're still going to the Chiefs at Arrowhead against Mahomes. I know they've been bad, but it's not the starting quarterback.
Yeah, this might be a turnaround game for the Chiefs here. I like Love. I think he's got a lot of potential. Sitting there learning under Aaron Rodgers. Maybe just needed a couple years. Rodgers set for 3 years before he was Aaron Rodgers. So, I don't know. I mean, plus 7 or 7.5.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the Chiefs have been struggling, but yeah, Devontae Adams is back too, so that's good. But yeah, I don't know. I still think the Chiefs are gonna handle this one.
Would you play AJ Dillon?
Is Aaron Jones hurt?
No, he'll be playing. Just with the two-headed monster with Jordan Love, how much are they going to throw to everyone besides Devontae Adams?
I guess maybe if they want to keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands.
Yeah, the Chiefs.
If you have to,
middle of the pack in rushing defense.
Need somebody maybe, but I'm not excited about it.
Well, actually, they do give up the 5th most receiving yards to running backs. So probably a good Aaron Jones game. And, yeah, AJ Dillon didn't get anything in the receiving 2 weeks ago. So, start your Tyreek, start your Kelsey, start Darrell Williams with Derek Gore coming into play. What do you think, Derek? Gore Williams.
I don't know. I don't know. Derek Gore kind of came out of nowhere, so
Frank Gore's long lost child.
Yeah, I'm not excited about either, but maybe probably Williams, but if they use Gore more, I wouldn't be surprised.
All right. Arizona and the 49ers. So 49ers, man, we just keep hitting up on these things. Jimmy Garoppolo, he will be playing. George Kittle's coming back. Are you worried about Deebo Samuel, who might be playing? Are you worried? Sorry, if he plays, are you worried about his consistent performances, like that continuing? I mean, I talked about him being a sell last week. He can't.
Kittle's not coming back this week, right?
I believe they said he might be. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm crazy.
I think
they activated him off fire to come next week. Well, are you concerned with Arizona who might be without Murray and Hopkins. Do you think that's going to be a positive for the Niners to run the ball, or do you think, again, Deebo Samuel can continue?
I think Debo will continue until Kittle comes back.
He's playing.
Kittle
they activated him. Yeah, they activated him. He will be playing.
I mean, maybe this week too, just because I don't know how much they'll use Kittle or how much they plan to use Kittle.
And that may be because Debo's not playing then, Maybe they did.
Not playing?
Well, he's questionable with a calf, just like Kittle, but I wonder if they brought Kittle back because Debo may not, And then this is.
I'm sure they're going to run a lot.
Elijah Mitchell's.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I see who plays and go from there. But you got to play both of them. You got to play Kittle if he's playing, and I feel like if Debo's playing with what he's doing, you have to play him until he stops doing it.
I got to ask a tough question. If Debo doesn't play, are you starting Brandon Ayuk?
Probably. I think it'd be a good flex option.
You got a lot of courage there. For the Arizona Cardinals,
you got to throw somebody.
I know. If Murray doesn't play, you're starting Hopkins. You have to. Let's say he plays too. Are you starting anybody else? If Murray doesn't play, are you starting Edmonds? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe he'll get a lot of pass catching with those that defensive line coming through for San Francisco. All right, 2 games left. We got Tennessee at the Rams for Sunday Night Football. Tennessee is the worst in the league against the pass. And you're getting the number 1 wide receiver right now in Cooper Kupp, one of the top quarterbacks in Matthew Stafford. What do you see happening for the Rams in Tennessee? They've been beating some people. Buffalo, they beat the Chiefs. They've been turning some things around.
Henry now, though.
No Derrick Henry,
but they're going to be passing. I think the Rams are going to come out in this one, but obviously Cooper Kupp is going to have a great game. Robert Woods might even get some ahead, Darrell Henderson. But I think it'll be a high-scoring game, and all the passing options all around are going to do just fine.
Yeah, I agree. Darrell Henderson is going to be a massive start. Tennessee also allows the most targets, catches, and yards to the running back position. So I fully expect McVay to work up some things for Darrell Henderson. I wonder as well if that means Robert Woods will get some more carries, maybe some more bubble screens. They'll use a lot of short field and get a lot of yards after catch for them. So I think it's going to be a big game for all your Rams. What about Van Jefferson? Are you excited for what he can bring to the table now that they did drop Deshaun Jackson, excuse me. So Van Jefferson, the second-year player coming out, has at least double-digit points in the last 2 weeks and 7-6 targets. So are you thinking about him as a flex at all?
Maybe if you're desperate, but as long as Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods are there,
Randall Cobb or Van Jefferson.
Feelings just not there.
Well, Randall Cobb or Van Jefferson.
Randall. Vontae. I'm really not excited about either of those, but I guess maybe Van Jefferson.
Well, if you're expecting Stafford to have a 300-plus yard game, Jefferson may be a good benefactor of that. Robert Woods, though, like I said, hoping he gets some carries. What about Robert Woods or Cole Beasley?
Robert Woods.
Woods or Jalen Waddle?
Probably Woods.
Okay. All right, last game. Chicago at Pittsburgh. No. Well, we talked a little bit about A.J. Brown with Tennessee earlier. You're going to start him. He's playing surefire. What about Julio, though? I believe Julio is going to be sitting – or not sitting, I'm sorry. I believe Julio is going to be playing. Yeah, they took him off the injury report with the hamstring. So he's not going to have any issues. Good to go. Are you expecting Julio to start turning it around? Because the man's got one game over 9 points in PPR.
He's going to have to now.
He's nowhere where I thought was going to be. I
Julio. I expect them to start throwing more, and he's got to be a benefactor of it. I know A.J. Brown will, but they got to get it going. So
6, 8, 4, 5, and 4 for Julio's targets. I don't get it. I mean, I understand the separation is not the same it was. The burning is not the same it was, but you're still throwing one of the best wide receivers, contested catch wide receivers ever. So I think they need to give him the ball some more. I agree with that. All right, Chicago at Pittsburgh. So we're seeing the emergence of Najee Harris. He is becoming very dominant, trying to show Jamar Chase he can be that rookie of the year. And then you got Chicago coming in with Justin Fields. Had a nice week last week, looked impressive even though they got smacked. But I'm liking what Fields is doing. We talked a bit last week about Robinson, Darnell Mooney. Are you excited about either of those players to start this week against Pittsburgh?
Who, Mooney, and who? What'd you say?
Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson. I'm never excited to play either of them, but not really. I mean, Najee Harris, I'm perfectly happy with playing him, but I don't know. It's really unfortunate what's happening to Allen Robinson, but
Are you dropping him yet?
So good.
I know.
Never dropping it. I can't drop him. There's nothing on the waiver wire to drop Allen Robinson for, in my opinion.
So let me ask you this: if you saw Allen Robinson on the waivers, you'd pick him up?
Probably. I would try. I would do my best to, and just
how about
keep
Laviska
him on my
Shenault
bench until I had to play him.
Laviska Shenault or Allen Robinson?
Whew. Probably this.
Yeah, you got him, man. Dude, he has 10.4 as his most points. That's it. They got a bye week next week. Then they're playing Baltimore, Detroit, Arizona, Green Bay. It's sad. It's sad. We cried about him last week. But Pittsburgh, Deontay Johnson's playing well. And like I said, Najee's playing well. Ben Roethlisberger's not playing well. So it's probably going to be a Najee game. Make sure you're starting him. Najee's a top 5 running back for me this week. I'm excited about Deontay Johnson, Chicago. They give up a good amount of yards to the wide receiver position. And then you have, like we said, Khalil Mack. Or I'm sorry, not Khalil Mack. Why am I blanking? Yeah, Khalil Mack. He's injured, right? Am I wrong? Maybe I'm not blanking on that. But yeah, I don't expect Chicago to do too well against Pittsburgh, even though they haven't been able to put up a lot of points. But I'm expecting Pittsburgh to handle this game. So start your Deontay, start your Chase, start your Najee confidently. But where is Chase actually for the last week? Because he's been struggling too. Last week he finally got some yards, 45 yards, because he only had the 17 2 weeks prior to that. But coming off 130 yards and a touchdown the week before, hopefully this is a get-right game for him. Yeah, I don't know. Chase Claypool, or what about Darius Slayton for the Giants?
Claypool.
What about Claypool or Jamison Crowder?
Claypool.
Yeah, it's funny because he already played. Claypool. What about T. Higgins or Claypool?
Probably T. Higgins.
Yeah, I like T this week to get a touchdown or two. He needs to get a rebound. Okay. Woo! Got through the matchups, man. We did it. We talked about our starts, got some streams in there. Let me just round it up. My stream of the week was Brian Edwards at the Giants, and Eric had – oh, you didn't even talk much about Dan Arnold.
I didn't say anything about him.
Yeah, well,
he was my stream of the week. Hey.
Yeah, against the Patriots.
No, against the Bills.
I'm sorry, against the Bills. Oh, I was thinking about Carolina for a second. Yeah. What are you seeing for Dan Arnold?
Just more of they're going to be playing from behind, and I think he's going to have to lean on Dan Arnold. I think Trey White's going to shut down the wide receivers there. And like I said, yeah, he's just going to have to lean on him. In the past game, on top of that, he's been building up the connection with Trevor Lawrence since he got there. Has been getting better and better every week. So if you need a tight end streamer, he's the one I'm plugging in there. I'm actually playing him in like 3 leagues.
All right, putting your money where your mouth is. I like it. Beautiful. And I had my start of the week was Damian Harris at Carolina. Like we said, he's been on fire lately. 80 plus yards in the last 3 games, and he's gotten at least 4. He's got scored in 4 straight games, has 5 touchdowns total there. So I'm expecting him to do well and get lean on for Carolina. And your start of the week, Eric?
Zach Moss in the same game. Just mainly, like I said, I'm very confident the Bills are going to be up in this the entire time. I think they're going to be putting points up, but I still think they're going to be able to successfully run the ball, and Zach Moss is going to be a benefactor of that. And I think he's going to get in the end zone. So
Awesome. All right, guys. Like I said, don't forget to follow us on Twitter. You find me at Antonio Denisi FF, Eric at Biggie_FF, and Keenan at Keenan_716, and the pod at Dynasty Mafia_FF. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, youtube.com/Dynasty Mafia Podcast. You can make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell so you can know when we are on here every single time. I appreciate all of you guys for listening. Hopefully it was a great show. Send us any start sick questions. We missed you, Keenan. We will have him back next week. Getting ready for week 10, double digits. Here we go, guys. I don't know. I'm still I know we were ready to close it, but I'm just still like I can't believe we're in week 10. This season is flying. I keep getting excited that we have 16 games this year, but I better make some playoffs, darn it. That's for sure. Yep. All right, guys. Enjoy your Saturday night. Enjoy your Sundays. Best of luck. Mafia out.